Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we are jumping right into something pretty big, an event that sources, critics, pretty much everyone is calling a major moment for PPop.
That's right. We're talking about SB19's huge performance in Dubai recently.
Exactly. And it wasn't just, another tour stop. Our mission here is to really unpack why this specific concert is being labeled historic. Why a statement.
Yeah, when one show gets called a benchmark for a whole genre, you kind of have to pull it apart piece by piece. This was at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai.
Part of the Simula at Wakas World Tour.
Correct. And for anyone maybe less familiar, ATIN, that's the fan base, the community, really driving this whole thing globally. We're looking for what exactly made this night such a clear signal to the wider music world, especially from Dubai, which isn't maybe your typical K-pop tour market.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. The main idea we kept seeing in the coverage was that this Dubai show wasn't just like a success, it was a pledge almost.
A pledge. Interesting word choice.
Yeah, like they were physically putting a stake in the ground, declaring PPop is global. But how do you prove that on stage? I guess it starts with the place itself. Hashtag I. The scale and setting of the statement.
Well, the venue choice is definitely interesting and where it sits strategically. One analysis we looked at really stressed that the Coca-Cola Arena is one of the biggest, maybe the biggest place SB19 has played this year outside the Philippines anyway.
Oh, okay, a big arena.
And choosing that specific venue in Dubai, look, that's not just booking a room. It feels like a very deliberate step into the Middle East, the MENA region market. That's an area that really notices global touring standards.
But hold on, playing a big venue doesn't automatically make it historic, does it? I mean, lots of big artists fill arenas. What was it about this venue in this place that made it a turning point? More than just another stop on what's already a big world tour.
That's a fair question. It's about showing they have the capacity, the ability to handle the logistics. The Coca-Cola Arena, it hosts massive global stars.
Right, established Western acts, big K-pop groups.
Exactly. So for SB19 to be on that same stage, they had to show they could manage the huge technical side, the production level expected, at a place built for top-tier international tours. They were basically competing visually and logistically with the biggest names out there from the get-go.
And it wasn't just about filling it with local fans, was it? The reviews made a point about who was there. They mentioned 18 coming not just from all over the UAE, but also from nearby Gulf countries. That kind of regional pull, it shows the event really acted as a hub, right?
Absolutely. And if you zoom out and look at the whole Simula at Wakas World Tour, yeah, it's already been getting attention worldwide. Sold out shows, chart stuff.
Sure.
But this Dubai stop, it felt like proof of actual market expansion, getting that strong foothold in the Middle East. That's the kind of geographical win that makes the global claim much harder to ignore. It showed their fans will travel across borders, across cultures. It validates taking a risk on a potentially tricky market.
Okay, so setting the stage, literally, they picked a big place, showed they could handle it, and proved people would come from all over the region. That lays the groundwork.
Right.
But then you have to deliver. You can have the best venue, but if the performance itself isn't amazing, the whole statement kind of falls flat. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, because the reviews weren't just positive. They used these really specific phrases like executed top to bottom with perfection.
Yeah, a perfect execution from start to finish. That sounds almost clinical, doesn't it? Not just excited fans.
Exactly. It suggests really high quality control. So what were the technical things, the details behind that level of praise?
Well, that kind of comment implies everything was just perfectly in sync. Across the board. One thing that kept coming up was the production quality itself, specifically the lighting. They mentioned a deliberate upgrade in the DMX lighting sequences they used.
Which isn't just flicking switches, right? That's complex stuff.
Oh yeah, it's computer-controlled light mapping, all timed precisely to every single beat, every move. It shows real investment in the visual side.
A strategic investment to match the bigger stage.
Totally. You have to if you want to compete visually with the big international tours. And alongside this dazzling production, reviewers pointed to flawless choreography, which, considering how physically demanding their recent stuff is pretty remarkable.
Let's talk about those demands for a sec. Dubai's climate isn't exactly cool, and the stamina needed for those high-energy routines, especially doing it for, 2 hours with intense dancing, that's a lot. Why did reviewers emphasize flawlessness?
Well, the fact that multiple reviews mentioned they didn't seem tired, that speaks volumes. They pointed out the conditioning needed just for the dance breaks in the opening track. Damn.
Right, that's a high-energy opener.
And then the complex group sync needed for, the big one, Gento, to keep the vocals perfect while doing all that under those conditions. It suggests incredible planning, adaptation to the heat, the specific arena, not just raw talent.
And the vocals are key there. If they were relying heavily on backing tracks because it was so tough physically, that perfect execution idea wouldn't really hold up.
Exactly. But the reviews specifically said the vocals carried the moment.
So it wasn't just spectacle. It was core musical skill on display.
Definitely. And beyond that, the staging, the lighting, the sound people covering it said it all felt elevated, which tells you they didn't just roll in with their standard tour rig. They likely adapted and upgraded things to really maximize the impact in that specific arena. It feels like a very conscious choice. Treat Dubai like a major event. Give it the maximum production effort.
Let's bring it back to the songs they used to prove this. Opening with Damn, that high-energy track, makes sense for grabbing that huge space right away.
Sets the tone.
And obviously, playing Gento, that's their viral hit, right? Perfect way to show they can get instant recognition and get the whole crowd involved globally.
Yet choosing those particular songs for a market like Dubai, it underlines the strategy. They weren't just playing it safe with maybe like slower ballads. They showcased the current high production stuff that's really designed for that massive arena experience. It's like saying, we're confident in where we are artistically and we can physically deliver it on the biggest stages. Take 3. Audience energy and global proof.
Okay, so moving off the stage and into the crowd. This brings up that big question.
Right.
Why did sources call this their most successful show so far this year? You said earlier it wasn't just about the size of the place.
Right.
But who was there? How do we actually measure successful in this context?
The sources seem pretty clear that the key metric wasn't just filling seats, it was market expansion. They pointed to seeing a lot of new fans turn up.
How could they tell?
Well, they mentioned noticing lots of people who didn't seem to know all the usual PPop fan chants, but were still totally into it, fully engaged. And the energy, just universally described as incredibly loud, almost deafeningly so. And that volume, that kind of suggests a crossover happening. When the core ATN enthusiasm gets boosted by new people, drawn in just by the music and the show itself.
That loud energy, you can almost feel it even reading the reports. I thought that detail from Gulf News about the fans outside the arena was really telling.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
It said they weren't just fans waiting, they were part of the show. Apparently, the cheering and singing outside made the whole area feel alive long before SB19 even hit the stage.
See, that kind of energy, the stuff happening outside the venue walls, that's maybe the clear sign of real global proof. It shows the culture is spreading.
How so?
It means the performance isn't just a concert, it's an event. It creates its own buzz, it travels well, and it starts hours early. It shows that P-pop culture isn't just stuck on stage. It's transferable, it's catching on in a new place. That kind of organic excitement is exactly what the industry looks for when they're trying to figure out if something has real staying power in a new market.
It shows the group knows how to create something you just have to be at no matter where they are in the world.
Right.
So when the sources summed it all up, they predicted this Dubai show won't just be remembered as a concert, but as one of SB19's best performances on this world tour.
And that really locks it in as a benchmark, doesn't it? It means Dubai is now the standard people will compare their international shows to.
Yeah.
The perfect technical side, the smart venue choice, proving they could grow the audience. All those pieces came together to deliver on that idea we started with. It really was a clear, undeniable statement that P-pop is playing on the global stage now. Hashtag to have outro.
So let's wrap this up. What does it all boil down to? Our deep dive seems to confirm it. SB19's Dubai concert really was this perfect mix of smart planning, amazing execution, and real evidence of growing their audience. They picked a major venue, delivered a technically brilliant show with upgraded production, and proved they could pull in fans from across the region.
Right.
It really does back up that claim. P-pop is global.
Yeah, the way they fulfilled that pledge, as you called it, was incredibly well managed. But, if one performance can be a pledge that a genre is global, it makes you wonder, and maybe this is something for you, the listener, to think about what's next. What specific things beyond selling out arenas or getting great reviews does P-pop need to achieve to really cement that global status permanently?
Good question.
We saw the move into the Middle East market here, but for real permanence, do they need, say, consistent chart success in the West with non-Filipino audiences, major collabs with big global producers, maybe getting regular airplay on mainstream radio outside of Asia. What does that next big statement need to look like, and what kind of proof will they need for it?
That's definitely something to chew on. A great question to end with. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.